Welcome back to part two. In part one, I was talking to Nish about his trading, being a newer trader, and how he's encountered some various obstacles in his journey in this wonderful world of ours. So let's pick up from where we left off in part one. Nish, tell us a little bit about some of the sorts of mistakes that you've made.
Well, my biggest obstacle has been over trading. I found up until a couple of months ago, I was constantly over trading, doing between 8 and 12 trades a day.
Right.
So literally that's been my biggest obstacle. I'm slowly starting to overcome that now. But the technical side is hard, but it's a lot easier than the psychological side, I find personally.
Yes, you're absolutely right, because that's the basics. The technicals are straightforward. You know, you buy when you do this and you sell when you do this, and that's all very easy. Yes. But the psychological elements are wrapped up in all sorts, that you could have had a really good day the day before, and that affects how you trade the following day. Exactly. And vice versa, and how your past trading affects your current trading.
Yeah, exactly.
So talk to me about how your past trading has affected your current trading at times.
Well, a fear of missing out was a very big problem. I would take so many trades on the thought that maybe this is the one big trade, which is of course the wrong way to be looking at it. And if I've had a good run, I'd continue to trade, which is, again, another big problem, because every trade is completely separate to the last. So when you're taking excitement from trades that you've taken into new trades, you're not going to analyze them correctly. Oh, I find anyway, personally. Yeah. And the same with losing. If I lose a trade, I can take it into the next day with me, which will then maybe increase my position size to try and get losses back and general problems like that. So it's just trying to disconnect from my profit and loss. I'm trying to do that now.
So it seems like you've talked about over trading, like taking 8 to 12 trades, which in this current market, a low volatility market, is quite a lot of trades to be taking. Yes. Especially because you're not trying to scalp. It's not like you're trying to just scalp for a few pips. You know,
yes,
these aren't those sort of trades. But also you've got this revenge trading going on. So all of it adds up to over trading. Whether yes. you're and you've said you've also increased position size in order to try and make money back. And
exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. Look, I know that's a completely different angle to be, a completely wrong angle to be taken when trading, is taking things that have happened in previous trades into your new trades. So that's probably my biggest problem that I'm trying to overcome right now.
Okay, so let's talk about where you are right now then. So how are you overcoming some of these issues? Because you obviously have a natural propensity to be what I call a greed-based trader. Yes. We have greed-based traders and we have fear-based traders, and sometimes we want to be somewhere in the middle. But most of us have a sway to one side or another. You obviously sway towards the greed-based trader because of your overtrading and revenge trading and oversizing and all of that. Yes. How are you managing to deal with that and rectify it?
Well, what I'm doing now is I do my analysis in the evening, and the next day I have a direction on where I think the market is going to go. So instead of me chasing the market, I wait till the market comes to my analysis, and then I'm a lot more confident in taking the trade. So if it doesn't come to my analysis, then I know not to take the trade, which is obviously helping me stop over trading.
Yeah.
So that's one way that I've tackled it. Okay,
and what other key questions would you ask yourself?
If my previous trade is having an effect on me. Okay. Has the market come to me, or am I chasing the trade? These are the major problems that I've had. I'm starting to overcome them now, and less is more. I'm finding that the less trades I put on, the more money I'm making.
Right. Okay. Brilliant. And so you mentioned to me, we had a coffee briefly earlier on, and you said about sometimes you lay in bed at night.
Yeah.
Tell us about that. Yeah, well, not that bit, but the bit about the markets.
Yes, well, if I've had a good day trading, then I'm so pumped up. I found I couldn't even sleep. I was too excited for the next day to start trading again. And then before the next day's up, I've given half my profits back. Yeah. Which was a big problem. So what I'm trying to do now is, if I have a winning day, the next day I'm trying to keep myself away from the markets and not actually trade that until I've calmed down and I'm neutral again.
I mean, that's a really good philosophy to have, to actually take a day off.
Yeah.
Until, like you say, until you feel like you come. Because actually, emotionally, we do calm down quite quickly. if we just give ourselves that little bit of time. How do you go about? Do you journal? Do you keep a trading diary or?
Yes, well, I write down every trade that I take and the reasons I've taken it, the time that I've taken the trade, and whether it was with my evening analysis or against my evening analysis. And another one on another little notepad on lessons that I've learnt from each trade, whether they've won or lost. And then another notepad just on the direction that I think the market is going to go.
Okay. So you are doing quite a lot of work, which is the right thing to do. You are investing your time. You're not just sitting there in front of the screen saying, "Oh, I want to trade."
Yeah.
You are keeping or journals so that you are self-monitoring.
Yes. That's I've recently been doing that in the last 3 months, and it's helped a great deal. Writing down. So at the end of my trading day, I also write down the problems that I think I had in that day, whether I've lost or won, and the things that I've done right, and then I'll analyze them at night as well, so that when I go into the next day, I have a better trading plan.
Yeah. Okay, and so you've got a young family, and you're currently predominantly day trading. We're going to talk about that in a moment. How do you cope with trying to trade when you've got kids running around, or do you have a separate office? Do you shut the door? What do you do?
Yeah, I shut the door and hide away from the kids.
Okay.
Yeah, but there are loads of Barbies on my desk and things like that. I'm having to move out of the way to get my coffee.
Okay. But you have to do that, don't you? Because you hear a lot of traders who will have all sorts of distractions and cats walking across their keyboard and placing trades accidentally, and it can happen.
Yeah, exactly. When I first started out, I had like my youngest daughter on my lap while I'm trying to trade, and obviously quickly realised that I need to be completely separate them completely. And
you found that's helped?
Yes, definitely.
Okay, so you're day trading at the moment, but what about expanding that?
Yes, of course. I want to move on to swing trading, because another problem is, like all day traders, they don't like to hold on to trades overnight, which I have a real problem with as well, especially when I'm in profit. I don't really like holding trades overnight. But then it's quite frustrating when you see you didn't want to hold a trade overnight, but for 3 days it's gone in the direction that your trade was. So that can be quite frustrating. So I definitely want to be able to start holding on to trades longer.
Okay, and so what do you think you need to do in order to be able to do that?
Stop looking at the trade. Once I've placed the trade, have my target and my stop, and completely ignore the trade after that.
Okay, and how will you do that? Sorry to ask you these questions, but it's important.
Yeah, well, I've taken off all money off of my charts, so that I can't see my profit and loss, which has helped me a lot. And so basically that's been my main point, is to take those off. So, and then hide the trade, because I can actually hide the trade off of my charts.
Okay.
And then put separate trades on as and when I need to, like that.
Great, okay. And I guess a lot of it, and I know, a lot of it just comes down to experience. As your experience grows, you'll get better at holding those trades as well. Because you want to become an all-rounded trader, not just a day trader or whatever.
Yes,
you want to do a bit of everything, because it's good to diversify. And as far as, you say you've given up your career to do this, but you were quite good in that you've saved a lot of money to be able to do this. We don't want to know the amounts of stuff, but you were quite good at doing that, and so you are in a position to be able to do this.
Yeah, well, I saved quite a bit of money from over the years of plumbing, and managed to come into a bit of inheritance.
Earning all that money.
Well. Yeah, that's it. And a bit of inheritance money as well, and that's enabled me free time to be able to chase my dream of trading. Okay,
so talking of which then, to finish off, what's your aspirations from a trading perspective?
Just to continue to develop and get better as long as I can. My main focus now is my psychology, because I'm happy with my analysis and the things I've learnt from that. So my psychology is my biggest hurdle.
Okay, and because your analysis, you need to meet the analysis with the actual trading.
Exactly.
element.
Exactly that. Market needs to come to my analysis, and then I can trade it. If I try and chase the trade, it's never going to work out. Even if it does, it's not a good trade. I've won, but it's a bad trade.
Yep. Okay. Perfect. So as always, it's all up there.
Exactly.
Brilliant. Nish, thanks ever so much for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me.
My name is Charlie Burton. Trade safely out there.